Queens. Welcome back to another episode of the Wedding Hive podcast. Today we have the myth, the man, and the legend, the best DJ in the state of Arizona. Mr. TREGO is here with us.
I want to like Homer Simpson into like the head right now. Just like, please look away. That was amazing. Do you have like an emceeing background?
I know.
I do not.
Maybe you should be a DJ.
Not,
you do.
But,
yeah. You're the contingency plan.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Back up. Kelsey's just going to show up when TREGO can't make it.
Yeah. Tap me in, coach.
We'll just play all the crazy bangers and it'll be great.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of bangers, I think you have a good yes or no for TREGO today.
All right,
TREGO,
let's go
we
for
always
it.
do yes or no's with all of our guests. So yes or no to urban line dances such as cha-cha slide, that Soulja Boy, Cupid shuffle. How do we feel about those?
Line dances. What?
That's what per Google said.
That's what ChatGPT just spit out.
That's really, I'm going to expose myself. I said, Siri, what are these like dances called? Because I wasn't sure. And urban line dances is what came up. So
bless.
I know.
Yeah. So anything that is too accessible, I like reject. It must be because of my age or whatever, but I'm just like, it just gives me like weird, like middle school, just like I have to do this right now. There's many other run-ins that I've had with line dances that I'm not interested in. But like if it's like shivers, if it's like something that's off the beaten path that like people don't know about, I think that's a little bit more interesting.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cupid shuffle, cha-cha slide, wobble, even Copperhead Road. It's kind of basic, but if it's like you had to go take a class and figure out the instruction beforehand, I'm kind of more into that.
Okay, I'm down for that. Like, because isn't Shivers right now, it's really like a popular like line dance, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, every time I go to the country bars, I'm like, what the hell is this?
What are they doing? I should have come
I'm like, let me take a few shots and a drink and I'll know the dance right away.
I know this.
So I'm like, this is my
I absolutely love dancing after drinking because I'm the best line dancer at the country bars.
And
with
let me
alcohol.
I know that you guys are like, you guys preach no cash bars. Thank you for doing the Lord's work.
Yes.
That's just what
I mean, that's what we try. We try to do the Lord's work.
100%.
And that's part of it.
Yes,
No cash bars. We're begging.
Yes, we're begging you. Either open bar, and if it has to, I mean, just
I'm against
don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
We love
Lower
it.
your guest count.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Because we want to have a good time.
Heck yeah.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with your first question?
I will. Okay.
Perfect.
Actually, you have the first question, Boo.
Oh, you're right. I do. I was so excited. We were just chatting right away. And I was like, okay. So obviously you're the best DJ in town. And
That's so awkward. You really can't. That's so crazy.
Okay.
That's like saying somebody's the best like ice cream flavor. It's so subjective.
Do you want me to say you're the most mid DJ?
Most mid, yeah, 100%. I'll limbo under your expectations. 100%. Mid.
Yeah, because go under and then like if your expectations are higher, then it's
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So regarding though DJing, how did you even get into it? How did this come about, this career that you have now?
I'll try to make it brief.
Okay.
So I grew up singing, dancing, acting on the East Coast. I got my degree in musical theater. I got spit out with Disney Cruise Line 6 days after I graduated college. Met my wife there. Had a great time. She wanted to keep working at Disney, but get off the ship. So we moved to Greater Anaheim, if you will. And I was like an actor trying to figure out my life and quickly became very disenchanted with like audition culture and like, you do this for me. And it's just very slimy out there and whatnot. And so I wrote down in a notebook in 2014, should I host events for money? ? I didn't know like how to get there, but like that was my diviner of like, I'm going to move in this direction. I found a Craigslist ad from a big multi-op that they pride people in taking them from nothing to like professionals. And so they don't want like the 10, 15 year veterans. They want to build people from the ground up. And I quickly was like, I like this way better than driving to Santa Monica, 3 hours round trip, 3 people who don't even care, look over your shoulder, pretend like there's Godzilla, and then like next. That was that was one of the breaking points. I was like, I don't want to do that again. And I just it was like a glove that fit, right? My whole life I've been performing. I gravitated towards it really quickly. And then it's going to sound cheesy, but I worked for Disney. And so like there's an aspect of like, you are trying to perform for other people for the betterment of other people. And there's such a fit with that with wedding planning. And
that's so true.
Being on the wedding day because like, you know, you just got married. You've been in this for forever. And it's like, people don't know their ass from a hole in the ground and they're scared and they're nervous and they just want to hire vendors that will take care of them. And then it's like, awesome. I can't believe that they like hire me. Like, I would do this for free.
Such a humble king. We love a humble king. Or would you say you're a Disney adult?
About 5 years ago, I would have said I'm a Disney hipster, but like I have a 5.5-year-old and a little baby, so she's so into it. So
oh, that makes me
I love
happy.
that.
yeah, for sure.
Grace and I disagree on Disney.
I love
adult life.
Disney. I made my husband a Disney adult, and I got him. So now we just go like once a year.
I love that for
and
you.
now he's like asking me when we're going. I said, "Wait, what?" Okay.
Wow.
I knew I loved you.
Do you eventually want kids?
Yes, I
just
do.
gets better and
Yeah,
better.
exactly. And that's like moments we're super excited for
sure.
in the future. So
I love that. Very cool.
yeah.
Trego, how would you describe your DJ style? Do you have a style?
Oh man, I love that question. And I've gotten it before. It's just so hard to kind of put it into words what I do, right? Because at the end of the day, I gel with the couple, I figure out what they want. It's a service industry job. I have all these game plans in place, but until you're there, you don't really know what's going to happen. So are people like, are you on the microphone? Are you not on the microphone? Are you, kind of regimented? Are you professional? Are you laid back? It's kind of, I have to read the crowd. I have to figure that out. And Brock has done a bunch of weddings with me, and I'm sure like every wedding is like slightly different to meet the couples and the crowd's needs. I really have this much energy. I think naturally I am a high energy guy. I don't market myself as that because I don't want to like jump through the floor like Psy from Gangnam Style and be like, oh my God. Like that's like,
fire me.
You know what I mean? Like that's
You want me.
Yeah.
I'm the best.
It's
To
so
our
try
quiet
hard.
conservative couples who are just trying to
So would
navigate.
you say like you're more than in that sense? You're kind of whatever the couple needs.
100%.
You feel like you can play that role, like,
And that's what I love about weddings. It's like
Okay.
you're meeting that need. You know what I mean? Like you can do bars, you can do clubs, you can do festivals and all that stuff. But like we're trying to, unite this couple together with 200 of their closest friends and family, throw them an amazing time. And I am just really pleased that I get to be there for this chapter. Then they go have kids and they get promotions and they move away and all the things that I'm like, I'm always a part of their life in some way, shape, or form. Like if I ever ran into them at the grocery store, I would know this and this and this and this and this. I'm so sorry about your dog. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like all of this stuff that like, it's such a disjointed like world that we live in. And it's hard to make human connections. And this is my vehicle for human connection.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that
Take
you're like a chameleon in that I use that a lot. Like you have to be a
True.
chameleon to match the vibe, to be able to connect with the couple, even if we have different views on things, like that is okay because I'm here to serve you and love you and
Totally.
be what you need me to be on your day.
And you need to be, for the vendors out there, you need to be ruthless during the sales calls. So when those red flags pop up before anybody's exchanged money or signed contracts or anything like that, if you don't feel like you can serve their needs to the utmost of the ability, then you're going to either not do that or you're going to do it anyways and resent them. And neither of those are fair in my humble but accurate opinion.
I agree.
I also love what you said about, I thought of an exact couple. I love what you said about just walking life because this is such an important moment. One of my couples, it was a couple I worked so hard with, and her dad passed away like a year ago, and I felt it. And because we worked together, we walked that, ceremony, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've lost a loved one because I'm grieving this loss with you. So
Did she experience her wedding and then the father passed?
correct. Yep. So her wedding was a few years ago, and then to like, she's now a mom, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're getting it, girl. I'm so happy to see what you and your husband are doing. And then boom, to feel that hit with the couple, which means you're an incredible vendor because you love your people.
100%. You have to, first and foremost.
Yeah.
There's no room to resent them. You have to put all the cards on the table, understand what your boundaries are, and you get better and better at that in the industry.
Yeah.
Like you don't wake up one day and say, oh, I've done 10 weddings and now I know I've arrived. It's a constant
Always evolving.
calibration of it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So
Okay, I feel like this one's like a hot topic. What's your opinion on song requests at weddings?
Goodness. So I always ask this in my planning meeting. I'm like, how would you like... Uncle Bob comes up, he asks for something. How would you like me to respond? There is one end where it's absolutely no request. There's the other that's like, work as many that you can in, like this is for everybody. And then there's the in-between zone. So what I like to do as a professional DJ is say the bride and groom have or the couple has requested, no requests. What were you going to say anyways? And that way it sets the expectation that you're not going to play that request, but if it's a banger and you're on the way, I'm going to work it in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Ooh, smart.
Love that.
That is the top thing. And I clear it with the couple ahead of time so that they know that when Uncle Bob runs up to them and go, the DJ said no requests, it's like we're on the same page. Does that make sense?
Okay. That kind of answered my next question is like, how do you handle guests requesting songs not approved by the couple?
100%. So I
thing?
also have a event assistant with me.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
I'm in the zone and I try to make sure my assistant is Carlos. Shout out to you, Carlos. I love you. He's doing lighting and he's also talking to the people who are coming up. And they'll come up to me always in the ear that has a headphone on. And I'm like, yeah, talk to him. But like, I just want all of my bandwidth to be present. You know what I mean? So he talks to them and we've both gotten threatened physically, emotionally, flicked off, all of it. Security called, all of it. So,
Oh, wow.
10 years. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
every
That's
iteration has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything under the sun.
Yeah.
sure.
And that's so, I mean, it happens. People don't
Drinking
understand that
causes
sometimes
it.
weddings are like mini Vegas parties.
Sure.
People are like, oh, I'm sure
True.
it's just like so calm and quiet. And I'm like, no, girl, we get down.
Yeah.
There is
100%.
nothing that phases us and we love it. We love the industry.
What year did you get in the industry?
I came into weddings specifically in 21.
Okay. So I came in 15 and the biggest change in the last decade is like it went from this like very canned, very planned, very like formality driven thing to 10 years later. Now it's like, it's basically a private event at a club or a bar. You know what I mean? There's really no difference for the clients that I tend to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have another follow-up question.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you handle explicit music in a conservative crowd or vice versa when the expectation has been set by the couple?
What have they said? What's the expectation set?
Well, maybe you have a couple who is wanting this just explicit music, and then you have the grandparents who are more conservative and calm and saying,
100%. I like it. I'm working for the couple, and it says in my contract that they are my my clients first and foremost. Even if somebody else pays, even if somebody else gets offended, like they are my clients. I am working on their needs first and foremost. And if they want Mo Bamba, we're playing Mo Bamba. You know what I mean? Like,
I go, huh?
so yeah. So I really feel like bless them. I hope that they understand that they are here for Mike and Molly or whoever the couple is. And just like, I'm sorry. I always say you can always make me the scapegoat because the chances are I'm never going to see these people again. Like the couple is the one who are going to have a relationship with them, whether it's great or strained or anything in between. Like, just be like, the DJ is such a dick, isn't he? Like,
You're
DJ
just like, I
sucks.
told him not to play that.
I thought he was way taller. His LinkedIn profile said he was way taller. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but just throw me under the bus.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Make the couple look good. And then
100%.
yeah.
So,
love that. Okay. So keeping on kind of like song requests, should couples have a set playlist for their wedding night?
great question. So there's two buckets in planning a wedding. And the one bucket would be special songs for formalities, things that are underscoring important events, walking down the aisle, first dance, whatever it may be. I can't pick those for you. You're the ones who are going to be hearing it for 50 years from now. Like if I choose, I love Beyond by Leon Bridges. This would be a great first dance song for you. And they hate the sound of his voice. Like I can't, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't work out. So I would say that's very heavy on the client to like, I can give you recommendations and I do give them recommendations, but ultimately this is your homework. Everything else, pre-ceremony, cocktail hour, dinner, dancing, any permutation of the playlist, I'll take as much say as you want to give me. I have the very most type A couples and they give me a list and they have an idea and all of that stuff. I tried to talk them through expectations of this is what I'm seeing. This is how I can maximize the dance floor. I can play exclusively off of your list, but like how many weddings have you DJ'd? I don't mean to throw that card at you, but like, do you want
You're the professional, baby.
Do you want the people to dance or not?
Yeah.
Do you know, if you only want to hear your iPod shuffle, we're going to play your iPod shuffle, but I can't guarantee if those people are going to dance to that because you're not giving me freedom. You're tying my hands behind my back. That's fine, but that's a scenario and that's an expectation that we set. And most of the time I check them at the sales call. And I'm like, you're not for me.
Yeah.
But the other side would be like the very most laid back people. This is the general vibe. This is what we're looking for. And in those consultations, mainly the planning meetings, I should say, I'm trying to pull information out of them. What concerts have you been together? What's our song? What are there any like, groups of friends that like, oh, we're all called like the Trojans, and like we like because one time we had like this like tune. I'm not doing a good job of like explaining this, but like these like I'm trying to get into the groups that are there and the psyche and vet those requests ahead of time so that when somebody comes up and they go, I swear the groom really wants to hear Baby Shark right now, you can be like, we already talked about that. Yes. Whereas like if they just come up to me out of the blue, I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like
Girl, what?
Dude, what are we doing? You know what I mean? So I just try to do as much homework with them, even if they're very type A, even if they're very laid back, understand what they want, understand the expectations, and then I do all this preparation, and then I just be present. Like that's the biggest thing is like I have all of these crates made and all that stuff. 85% of the time, I don't even look at it, but I have it. Do you know what I mean? And that's like what mentally is being a professional is like, I'm ready to go. Brock might not need his second and third camera, but he brings it anyways. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You're making me think, like, do you have a psychology degree? Because you know how to get into people's head and really understand
Let us think.
Their motives, their thought process, who they are, how they function. Like, that is a good ass DJ.
I appreciate it. I take pride in this. Like, it's what I'm obsessed with. And I think what's really crazy about DJing weddings specifically is it's DJing, emceeing, a technical aspect of it, professionalism, onboarding your client, making sure that they're having a great time. It's lighting. It's obviously taxes. It's all of these different things that you can just keep going down the music history. You can just keep going down the rabbit hole and learning more and more and more and more. So I never feel like I've arrived anywhere. I feel like I'm constantly learning all of these things. And I would say like applied sociology is kind of part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
How important is it on wedding day for you to communicate with vendors to make sure there's like good communication and smooth transitions?
100%. It's everything. And, I would say I have this working theory. I don't know if it's fully fleshed out, but I would say that all wedding vendors have a special part of the day. And so like, everybody drops off all the pretty things. The wedding planner makes it look great. The ceremony is for the wedding planner. The cocktail hour is for the photographer and the videographer. The dinner is for the caterer and the reception is for the DJ. And so if I'm not one of the main parts of that, I totally like lie in the background. I'm just a supporting cast, helping out. We need to move this up. We need to push this back. I can vamp whatever you need to. When open dancing starts, I'm like, can we please turn off the floodlight on the dance floor because it's killing the vibe and stuff like that. Because it's now my turn to, complete the promise that I made the couple. Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah. I rely so heavily on the DJ.
Yeah, you really do.
And have worked with some really shitty DJs. 100%. And I'm like, why am I doing your job?
Literally.
Please don't make me do your job.
I'm sorry. Sorry. The whole
Give us something.
Give us something. It's so rough. I mean, I think that's why I have a job though, is like, you don't have to be great at any of this. Like you have to be good at a bunch of things that don't necessarily connect. And I would say my strength is not having glaring weaknesses. And then when I do have those weaknesses, working on them and constantly bringing everything up. So I would definitely say I'm a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah. Learner of life. I love it.
Okay. Next question. If no one is on the dance floor, what do you do to get them up on their feet?
That is such a good question. It happens to the best DJs. It happens like the last time that it happened was February 14th. It was Valentine's Day. I remember exactly where I was.
Oh, wow.
And God bless your little tattoo bar. It was a tattoo bar outside. I left, everybody left the dance floor because of those tattoo bars. I don't like you, but I understand, but I don't like you. We're fighting right now.
We're arguing.
Took my people.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, I get it, but like, that's what welcome parties are for. That's what.
So someone had a tattoo bar at the reception?
Everyone was gone out of the room. I was playing to nobody. It was a lesbian wedding. I was playing gay bangers. It was but it was tight. It was actually, I was like,
You're like, so am I in line?
You might be dancing, but your boy still got it. And what do? Mix quickly, play to, when you do public speaking, if you have 100 people in the room, 1,000 people in the room, 10,000 people in the room, you have to connect with whoever's in the front row. You have to connect with those people and they're going to permutate to everybody else. So whoever is on the dance floor, we just feed the flame. And I might even go up to them and be like, hey, it's just you guys on the dance floor. Like, if there's anything that you want to hear, come, like, I will provoke those requests because at least it's something. It's like kindling to the fire. You know what I mean? It's starting something. And so I would start with whoever is actually dancing. If you're not dancing on the dance floor, you don't get a vote.
Period.
Love it.
Period. You're not participating. Sorry. And so I work with them. I quick mix. So we're talking 60 to 90 seconds per song to just kind of like have some sort of stimulus for them. What else? Drastic BPM changes, drastic genre changes. I'm trying to shock them. I'm trying to get their attention without doing a line dance, without being cheesy or overbearing. And like, I swear you're going to get like some viral video of me in the next 10 years having a 2007 Britney moment, shaving my head, of being like, the bride and groom paid so much money. It's going to come, but like that, it's never happened yet. And I don't know. But yeah, that's the worst feeling for a DJ is like, I'm trying. Because, okay, so here's what I say. Is like, we're trying to create a fire on the dance floor. Not literally, been there, done that. I'll tell you that another time. But not literally, but fire takes what? Like the flame, oxygen, and fuel or whatever it is. Like I can see the triangle in my head. I can't articulate it. I'm just the fuel. So like as a good wedding DJ who is going to match the vibe and not be too much or overbearing, it's not about them. I'm the picture frame and not the picture. Right? I'm setting this couple up for success. So like, if you want to party, it's going to be an even better party than you ever thought. But like, if you don't want to party at all, that's the hardest thing because you're the spark. The crowd's the spark. I can't be the spark I want to party. I'm getting paid right now. I'm getting paid. I am supporting my family, like DJing weddings. This is insane. This is the simulation. This is crazy. But I need somebody to help me out here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Someone got to throw you a bone to like, get it going.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, I think I'm going back to what Kelsey said. I think you need to be like a psychologist or something. Like, God, actually, can I come over and like have a therapy session?
Yeah, will you be our therapist?
Like, oh my God.
Listen to this playlist.
See, just send me that. Like, just send me like an uppy playlist. I'll just be like, I'm cured.
That's it. I'll be like, I'm feeling sad today. Here's the 7 music
Can
songs
you send me? I know.
We need
I'll
the
just
playlist.
like
I love it. I love it.
brought me back to life.
Do you think special effects are worth it? Strobe lights,
Such a good
smoke
question.
guns,
I was
lighting?
thinking about this, right? And I've seen so many permutations. I mean, I do about 75 weddings per year. I've done this for 10 years. Probably COVID was a weird year, but 600 to 800 weddings somewhere in there or whatever. Wow. I've seen every permutation. I've seen people like have brunch weddings on Saturday and they're amazing. I've had Saturday night weddings with all the bells and whistles go kind of lackluster. There's not like a placebo or like a control group that I can say, and then they added the cold sparks and it was a better wedding, right? So the way that I build my wedding package, I have one wedding package. It's a full day buyout, ceremony, cocktail hour, reception, no moving speakers, sound guaranteed for up to 250 people. Also includes uplights. If a couple gets nothing else, I am totally happy with this, right? I'm like, this is everything that I need. I need to show up with some amount of lighting, right? But this is everything that I need in order to do my job. If you have a certain aesthetic, if you see something on TikTok or Instagram that you want to replicate, go for it. You go, Glen Coco. But like, you don't need that. Like, you know what I mean?
True.
And so like the biggest thing that I would say as I was preparing for this interview is like, there's so many free things that you can do that will maximize the dance floor, that will have a much bigger effect and a more controlled effect on the dance floor. Is like, don't book a venue with the terrible sound ordinance. Don't have the lights on when people are dancing. Have the dance floor in the central part of the reception space. Don't have the bar outside. Like, you can go down the list of like, this makes it better, this makes it better, this makes it better. When the cold sparks happen, people are like, oh, that's cool. And they whip out their phone and all that stuff. Does that make sense? Like, I just don't, I wish I could strongly say like, yes, this makes the wedding better, but I don't know if I can answer that.
No, that's
I also
fair.
sell this stuff. I'm the worst salesman. We get to this
You're
point,
like,
I'm
honestly,
like,
you don't need any of this shit.
it's true though.
Yeah, no.
Like, not
I think as long as
necessarily.
you have a good vibe, like a good playlist and a good DJ,
Sure.
do you really need all the special effects to
Not
just spend more
necessarily.
money on it? I don't think so.
Bring the spark.
Do you need an open
Yeah.
bar or do you need specialty
thank you.
drinks?
See?
do you need
we
specialty
need open
drinks?
bar
No.
over spending money on
Right.
special effects of the DJ.
Yeah.
Period.
Please.
I co-sign that 100%, and that's coming out of my pocket.
He's gonna put it on the bottom of his contract. Please just have an open bar, no effects needed.
Man, I mean, I'm just out here screaming into the
I
ether, and you
know.
guys are doing the Lord's work. Look at you guys. 100%.
So what tips do you have for couples when picking their DJ?
Okay. So first and foremost, I would say ask around. Like if you Google Arizona Phoenix wedding DJ right now, I think 125 companies come up, and those companies might not have one person. They might have, so you're talking about hundreds of people. It gets overwhelming really quick. Ask everyone you know, your venue, your wedding planner, your photographer, if you book them ahead of time, your friends, your family. Names are going to start popping up, especially in this region, especially in this industry. And once you start hearing that again, stalk the hell out of them, find their reviews, reach out to people who you might know, like in like mutual friends and all that. Everybody loves to talk about their wedding, even if it was in 2021, even if it was in 2017, whatever it was, even if it was long ago, assuming that they're still married, I will put that caveat in there. Assuming that they're still married, they still want to relive that big day over and over and over again. If they got a random DM saying, hey, I'm considering DJ TREGO, what was your experience with it? I can't wait to talk about my wedding, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's
It's
not
like having a
overstepping.
baby. Like everybody wants to talk about their experience having a child. Like
100%.
their wedding day. Wants to talk about it.
Yes.
And so that is something that is totally appropriate, I feel. And then at the you should get on some type of consultation call or Zoom or in-person meeting or whatever that looks like with the DJ. They should be walking you through things because they are the experts, and this is a service industry based job rather than them being like, hey, so like this is it. What question do you have? They should be walking you through something, establishing themselves as the expert. And when you get off of that call or Zoom or whatever it is, you should have a gut feeling that they know that's somebody that you can trust. You can pass over your baby to them. If you don't have that trust, keep looking.
Can you babysit my
100%.
child?
Yes.
They're like, yep, okay, you're hired.
You're hired. Oh my God.
Okay,
You
perfect.
start Tuesday, right?
Yeah, perfect. You said, and then up till my wedding. Thank you.
How soon should people be looking for their DJ? How far out are you booked right now?
I have a sales call tonight for February 2027.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know 27 is coming in
He is
hot
booked
right
and
now.
busy.
yeah, I try not to book before 18 months, but it's kind of like a password thing. Like before that, where it's like a really cool planner or a really great venue or something like that. I'm like, all right, let's talk.
You said I'll make an exception.
I'll make an exception. And I would say the first three things that need to fall are venue, date, and planner. If applicable, please get a planner, please. But like that would be the big three. And then after that, like your photographer, your videographer, your DJ, there's probably other things. But the things that like, if Brock's booked on that big day, he can send an associate, but it's not Brock, right? If it's, another kind of creative, it's like, yeah, they can help out as much as they can with the planning process and maybe like the deliverables and whatnot. But like, you want that person there. So like jump on it, at least reach out. Are you available or not? So I would say like the sooner the better.
Yeah.
For sure. I will throttle you if I'm like, you're being crazy. You're getting married 2028 on the moon. You can call me next year.
Correct.
You know
Katy
what I mean?
Perry's getting married on the moon.
Oh my God, I bet she is. So nuts. That has had a crazy ricochet effect.
Yes.
With now she's on all the do not playlists.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately because she's so cringe.
Really?
100%. 100%. Which is
Dang.
crazy. It's her and Bruno Mars. I know.
Don't talk about my man Bruno like that.
It's not mine to say. I've seen him live.
Okay.
I appreciate
I
him.
love
Okay,
Bruno
see, I've seen
Mars.
Katy Perry live, and her concert was the best concert I went to.
Which one did you go to?
I was graduating high school, 2015.
So Prism.
So yes,
Prism was sick. I went to Prism.
she put it on a damn good show. She's
It's
crazy
a
person
great
now,
album.
Yeah,
It's
the
a great
album's really
album,
good too.
for sure.
So, okay, to wrap up,
Well, no, you had some questions.
Okay,
Like, what do you want to know?
I want to know
We're here
everything.
for it.
So like I listened to your first podcast
Yes.
and then Cinco de Mayo and then like your latest podcast. I love Cinco de Mayo.
Our Cinco one got a little crazy.
But it was
Cinco de
great
Mayo.
because like you guys were starting it and I was like, I can't cuss during this. It's all gonna be like very informational and all that. And then Cinco de Mayo happened and I was like, okay, all things are set and good to go.
Yes.
And so how like in 30 seconds to 2 minutes, like how did you guys meet? Like I know you just got married.
Yes.
You've been running a venue and wedding planning for years.
Yep.
Literally.
Tell me all the things. Like how'd you guys meet?
Yeah. So the elevator speech of this is our producer actually came to me about a year ago and said, I want to start a podcast. I'm like, okay, whatever. Ran it off. And then early fall, we were in a meeting and sharing all of the chaos stories of the weddings from the past weekend. I kept expressing frustration because I'm like, there are so many things that I wish I could put on a platform to shoot out for information because I'm getting the same questions and people are in the same boat. And I want wedding planning to be easier. I want people to have friends in it. And I'm trying to reach out in all of these webs and avenues. She got married at the venue that I'm at in September. And so it was an insane fall season, had some big weddings. And producer, like I said, it just kept coming in the air. I want to start a podcast. So in January, we started talking through it and said, well, we need somebody else. Like we need a co-host.
Okay.
We did talk with some other people about it. Wasn't the right vibe. And then, we were like, wait, Grace would be perfect for this. So interviewed her and we were like, do you think you want to be my best friend?
I know.
And she was like,
and now we have tattoos for life.
That's what I was gonna get to that. I was like,
and then we got matching tattoos.
Can I see them?
Yeah, mine's right here.
Oh, mine's under.
What does it say?
It's a rose.
Okay,
It's,
love that.
yeah, just a little
And
rose.
she got a little rose.
Love it.
So
I
saw people lining up for that too. I was like, obviously not DJing. I was like, I bet Chris is so pissed right now.
I know.
People are
yeah,
So the cards
we have
just
a
kind
little.
of fell.
Yeah, cards fell, and here we are, and we're a little salty with the tattoos as well. Just for the record,
We thought they were free and we got robbed $100.
Just like I got robbed at the bar with my drink. Did you see that?
Oh no, what happened? I saw the drink prices and I said,
I didn't see the drink prices.
And I
So I was
said,
at the front. I was like, no. Do you take like HSA cards?
Literally.
Like, I don't have that much money.
do you want my social security number? Because goddamn, they literally were robbing everyone.
no, because there was a list when we walked up for the tattoos, and they're like, "Are you ready?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What do you want?" And so she's looking at the page, and I'm like, I guess I'm doing that too. And next thing I know, we signed waivers, sat
Within
down.
5 minutes
Like they're
of walking
tattooing
up.
us.
Also, like, you're not sober.
No,
We were drunk.
we were super drunk. And so
And then we
Isn't that like immoral? Like, they shouldn't be doing that right now.
and it was like she said, there was literally a whole paper of people who had written their names down, left their numbers to be in line. So we're like, okay, we'll put our name. They're like, well, you're just ready? And we're like, well, isn't there like 20 people in front of us? They're like, it's fine. And so it was boom, boom, boom. I didn't even think to ask how much it cost.
How much was it?
$100 each
For a quarter size.
And
for a
I was,
tattoo that took
in our defense,
4 minutes.
Yes, we were drunk, which probably wasn't the best decision, but we don't regret it. Second,
I love that.
The beginning of the event, it was all free.
Yes.
The food, the
Everything
drinks.
was free.
So I was like, oh, they hired these people and paid them X amount to do tattoos at this event.
Just
so
like
I
you
didn't
would
think
at a
I would have to
wedding.
pay for it.
Just like you would at a
Yes.
wedding.
And then we went into the other bar and I said, Kelsey, you want to leave? I was like, because I'm not paying $25 for one drink.
It's crazy.
And after I'd already
Yes.
spent
It's crazy.
$100 for
Did
a tattoo.
Did they
This-
comp your tickets because you guys are like media?
No.
They weren't cheap tickets either.
No.
Maybe this should get cut out. But I love them. But like,
1,000%.
I'm like, what are we getting for what we're experiencing
Yeah.
right now in that regard? And it was so like, I don't know, black and white. It was just like open bar, everything's awesome. And then it was like itemized, expensive. Like, it was like, can I get some drink?
It like
No,
killed the vibe.
I kid you not.
100%.
It killed the vibe. I literally was like, my fee hurt. I just spent $100 when I was not planning on spending $100, and these drinks are insanely expensive.
No, she finishes it and she's like, do you like it? I'm FaceTiming my husband because I'm like, shit, probably should get approval. Hey, babe, I'm getting another tattoo.
Sweet of you.
Surprise. And he's like, wouldn't expect any less from you, babe. You a little crazy. And then I like hang up and she's like, all right, $100. And I was like, what? Nothing sobers you up faster than being told I need $100.
We sobered up so quick.
fast.
That's
So then
I know.
They didn't even talk to you about it before.
No.
I'm telling you, it was literally TREGO. We walked up to the
You're on blast. We're fighting.
We walked up to the table, and within 5 minutes, getting tattooed. There was literally no time to think. So it was.
I don't know if I like.
And then
It wasn't.
It was so bad that like we both walk away and I was like, what just happened? What just happened? What just happened?
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like transfer from savings. So I'm like,
And
I
then-
was stopping.
Yeah,
I'm like, hey babe, please don't order pizza because I just spent our pizza money for the kids tonight. Like panicking.
Sorry.
But then we went inside and there's like that taco bar.
Yep.
And I was like, can I just have one, or like how much are they? And they're like, they're available. And I'm like, yeah, but like how much is it? Like all of a
like
sudden I'm
shell-shocked.
traumatized. I'm traumatized.
Documentaries will be filmed on you guys getting this.
Literally getting the
Yes,
tacos.
but hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
For
I
being a
know.
freaking winner.
Thank you.
I know.
It's so weird. I felt really numb.
So awesome.
During the last the days afterwards. I felt like, what? Like I just didn't understand that
That's amazing.
Best
people
DJ.
thought about, because we're all in a vacuum in this industry.
Yeah.
Like we might team up for one event, but then I might not see you for years, months, years, whatever. And so it was really humbling that people thought I did a good job or am doing a good job. And then I just celebrated 10 years in the industry last week. And I was like,
What perfect
and then
timing.
It came out and I was like, oh, this is crazy. And I don't know. It's just kind of we're trying to figure out how to better serve our couples and just get better and better and better and better. It's just a piece of paper. People are very nice. Thanks for your votes. Aww. But it's just nothing changes. And honestly, the quick turnaround to my numbness was well, you're thinking about yourself. That's dumb. Think about your clients. You do this is a service industry job. Focus on them again. And I had a wedding last weekend, have a wedding this weekend. I'm just trying to serve them. It's just another day.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Do you have any other random questions for us?
I have one perspective to present for you guys.
Okay.
All right. This is just recently that I have experienced it. But on one of your podcasts, I think it was Cinco de Mayo wedding one, that you guys both said that you guys wouldn't get prenups.
Correct.
Both of you guys. And we're just experiencing that. I don't have a prenup. Shout out to my wife. But I think everybody should consider a prenup. And here's why I say that. Having a prenup is just about what happens if the unexpected happens, right? And it's a quick way of this is no longer my person. I need to protect my family. I need to get away from them, whatever that is, right? And this is how we're just going to divvy up assets. And the other thing is too, if somebody comes into a relationship with a lot of money and then somebody comes in with a little bit of money, there's still a way to split that up fairly to both parties, right? It is a prenuptial agreement, right? And so it's just going to streamline the mediation process, if you will.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
It's exactly the same in my opinion. So all this was predicated off of an interview that I heard off of Flagrant with Andrew Schultz. They had a divorce lawyer on there, and he was
wow.
I wouldn't have a job if people spent $150 and just had these conversations at a time, right?
Yep.
Just have it, right? Because the analogy that I would give is if something were to happen at you have a husband and 6 kids, and you have a husband and a dog, right?
Yes.
If something were to happen and a fire breaks out, there's a plan, right? You teach your kids to crawl and go find the smoke and feel for the door and all the things. You hope that never happens, right?
For sure.
But it's so easy to say, 2020 hindsight, I wish that we had talked about that so that, Fido's still with us or whatever. And so That was brutal. And so
Bye, Dallas.
Bye, Dallas. I loved you for 6 months.
I loved you. So I think it's just a part of being prepared that I don't think people are going into their marriage having all the cards on the table.
Yep.
With the financial, with how do we want to raise the kids? We come from 2 different religions. We come from 2 different political viewpoints. Like all of that stuff like needs to be talked about. And that's just one aspect of it. And I like was literally like, okay, how do I convey this to you guys? Like, what if something happens to my wife, for example, and she falls off the back of a car and she hits her head. She has a traumatic brain injury. She's totally different. She hates me. She doesn't want to be with me. She's a totally different person than the person that I met. And she wants to divorce me. And like, we don't have like a game plan in place for like separating and like, not putting my daughters through that. And like, do you know what I mean? Like,
No,
for
I
sure,
agree.
none of that worked. I hope none of that happens. And I understand like, you're like, well, I wouldn't have gotten married if I thought I would get divorced. I hope he said this in the interview. I hope that nobody ever like has to reach out to me to like, I hold their prenups for them. Like, I hope nobody ever reaches out to me, but it's in a filing cabinet just in case.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, for sure.
That was the only, everything else has been like, yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. Like you guys have good
When that
discord.
question, when I answer that question, because I know I was drunk and I'm sober now.
Love that.
Yeah, we're usually drunk a lot. So.
Did I say, I'm just curious because when my husband and I got married, I know I'm sure I said in it, we had nothing to our
Didn't
names.
have a pot to piss in. Yeah.
We didn't. We genuinely were scraping quarters. Did I answer that like I wouldn't have then and I still wouldn't have today?
You said something about morality. You said like morally, I wouldn't have one.
Okay.
You're like,
I mean,
I'm not holding you to that.
No. I'm so curious because we have conversations all the time.
I'm like not against
about
them, but I don't know.
No,
like
I
if
do.
you want to get a prenup, I think that's amazing. If that works best for you, I'm down for that.
well, have you, on the flip side, did you hear the drama that happened this season? Maybe not. I will
what?
keep everything very vague, but there was a venue that I work at quite a lot. And both the DJ who was working at the pool during the day of and the DJ who was DJing the wedding that night told me this, like all the story came together, that the groom was presented a prenup the morning of the wedding and by the father of the bride, and he ended up not signing it. The wedding was off. The family of the groom took their meals and like went away. They had this like really awkward wedding celebration, but no ceremony and any of that stuff. And that was because the urgency of like, well, we're walking down the aisle at 5. You need to sign this.
Yeah,
and he just rejected that. Now, is that guy, the groom, a bad guy? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know the specifics of it. I don't know what was in that prenup.
Yeah,
but
what's
again,
behind
like a
it.
prenup is an agreement of what happens if we have to separate. Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily like we want this to happen.
No,
I would be remiss if I didn't like speak up, because there's a lot of people who are listening to this podcast of like, we want to go into our marriage on the best foot and like, hopefully you never have, I don't want to have a safe word with my daughters if they get abducted and they call me, you know what I mean? Like, but I do.
Correct. Yes. And like, again, like I said, we're having these conversations. My perfect example, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law have 4 children. My brother-in-law passed away a few years ago. This weekend, she came to me and she said, hey, I'm working on all of my stuff. If something happens to me, you are listed as the caretaker for my 4 children.
Totally.
Is that okay? Do I want my sister-in-law to die? Absolutely not. Do I want to take on 4 kids? Absolutely not. But there's a plan.
She's like, I already have 6, so 4 more would make 10, and I might actually have a heart attack and die.
I'm trying to get like a nice luxury SUV. I am not trying to get a 12-passenger van in my life.
Imagine.
But
Oh my gosh.
it's a plan in place.
Yes.
It is if shit hits the fan, if something happens, we have a game plan, and 100%. It is what's best for the children and family. So I appreciate your perspective. 100%. I appreciate your honesty. Yeah. Thank you for sharing all the wisdom on it, because it's
a big topic. So
it is.
Yeah.
I
just don't think
it should be talked about.
I don't think if a partner wants to approach their other partner about like what would happen with this, I think we need to, as a society, start leaving that stigma, right? If it's not right for you and your partner to sign one, don't sign one. You don't need, like, that's fine. But like, I think like normalizing having the conversation of whether or not we want to have one, what does that look like? All of those things. I don't know.
And maybe don't do it
because
the day
again,
of the
like
wedding.
I feel really passionately about this industry too, and I feel passionately about the couples who are getting married. And I would be remiss, like as I'm listening to your podcast, that was the one thing that like cash bar, like favors can go F themselves, like all that. Like I was like yes. I was like yes, and then got to that point. I was like, I just want to mention like this other perspective. So
I love that. We're here for it. We're here to talk all the tea, all the buzz, and we love opinions.
stuff.
We're not here to, we're open. So
And
yeah,
I'm here for
good
it.
stuff.
Thanks.
Okay.
That's not how I want to end this podcast.
No, I said
we have more.
thank God.
we have okay.
more.
The last thing to wrap up before we wrap up today's episode, do you have any wedding horror stories?
Oh,
Give
does
us
a
all
bear
the
shit in
tea.
the woods? Of
Yeah.
course.
Okay.
I mean,
You want to tell us
tea.
one of your biggest, craziest one?
oh man.
To leave
I
the
mean,
listeners
so
on their
like,
toes.
I hope that none of this happens to you, the viewer. I had a father of the groom collapse at a wedding, have a heart attack, and like we were like playing like Pursuit of Happiness Steve Aoki remix, and they were like, "We're getting the ambulance. He really likes the Eagles," and I'm like, "I got a peaceful, easy feeling." Like I think he ended up being fine. The bride was like in shock. She was like, "I can't believe this happened," because it's like her
Literally her wedding day and
now.
then her,
Then I had father of the bride collapse in the hotel room before the wedding. The mother of the bride rushes off. The bride is inconsolable. She's finally like, they actually ended up getting married during COVID time, so it was just cocktail hour and dinner. So cocktail hour was kind of effed, and then dinner happens. They just go into grand entrance like in a bad movie. They're on the microphone thanking their crowd. Obviously, these aren't the circumstances that we wanted. We're going to make the best out of it. Her brother comes up, whispers in her ear, "Dad's going into surgery right now." They whisk them away. I am DJing a wedding without a couple there, without their parents there, without anything.
What?
We end up having a pretty good time. And then the last like 30 to 45 minutes, they end up coming back. And we raged like it was on sale for $19.95, which was super cool. But that was wild, super.
Yeah.
Dang,
And then
that's insane.
I started a fire at a wedding.
TREGO.
Like
What are you doing?
That's what you said you wanted to do, but this one,
yeah.
is this a real fire?
It's a real fire.
Real fire.
Real
did this
fire. December 2021. I had cold sparks next to pampas grass. Don't
The pampas. We
do
hate it. It catches fire to
People
everything.
do not understand how much
flammable.
pampas is trying to unalive itself.
damn
But I didn't know that, right?
Okay.
So like,
Yeah, he
so
won't
to be fair, so like what happens is like I'm working with this planner who I really love, who loves this client. She wants to go above and beyond for them. I donate the cold sparks in her name. She wants to pay me for them. I'm like, you're crazy. And so I just like bring them anyways. And then the florist, as we're like setting up, we have this huge like row of pampas grass for ceremony, a semicircle, if you will. And then we're going to repurpose that on the stage for reception. During cocktail hour, she's like, "Are you sure this is a good idea?" I'm like, "It's fine. I've seen like, all these like Chinese manufacturing, like these guys like running their hands through the cold sparks." I'm like, "It's great. This is great." We shot them straight into trees, like all of that stuff. And I was like, "This is great." And like we test them during cocktail hour, great. We do grand entrance, we do first dance, great. And then their saxophone player comes out in the middle of open dancing. I've forgotten about cold sparks because like that's not a part of like my bandwidth. I'm just thinking about how to keep the crowd going. And she's like, "Can you set off the cold sparks? I want to take a video." I was like, "Okay." So I do. I shoot them off. And like the next thing I know, I'll show you the video. They're up in flames like high. I don't want to be hyperbolic, but 8 feet, 10 feet, some high flames.
Yeah.
It was all going so slow that it was up on the stage where my DJ stuff was. And I was like, well, if it hits all of this is going on in my head.
Yeah.
If it hits the ceiling, it's going to catch the whole place on fire. You need to get the fire to lower ground. You need to kick the pampas grass off the stage. I looked at my feet and said, I'd rather get my left foot burned than my right foot. I kick it off with my left foot.
You said, I can make it work.
And you're going to see how quickly it is in the video. Like, it's just like, this is all happening in 3 seconds, maybe. And so I kick it off. They end up getting everybody out and spraying it all down, and it was fine. And we'll get back to that in a second. But I end up DJing like outside on the ground, and then like this like outdoor patio, and then it was Paradise Valley. So everything closes down at 10. Then we go inside for like another hour or so, and it ends up being a great wedding. Super fun. The groom comes up to me and is like, my feet were hurting anyways. This is a great story. Like, we're great. And so like, then like I go and everything is covered in like white ash and like, it's like damaged and all the things. And the florist is there, and I was like, because we were talking earlier about like her referring me. I was like, yeah, so like my business cards like will be in the mail. Like I'm making a joke out of it still.
Yeah.
So dead.
I know. I'm making
like,
a joke out of it
on.
still. My assistant's like, oh my God, I could have died. My lighting designer was like, I could have died. I was like, yeah, you're fine. And then the next day was like one of the worst days of my life because it all like the adrenaline wore off, and I was like, somebody could have died. Like it could have been like there could have
been bad percussion.
You know what I mean? And it was like really,
but you're
really
a DJ,
rough.
not a florist, so it wasn't your fault.
I took fault with it with State Farm.
kidding, yeah.
The only thing,
State Farm.
I'm sure you're really grateful you had your certificate of insurance
100%
on file.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I will like break even on my insurance in like 20 years now because it's like. So I was worried because the venue made a claim for the stage and the carpets, but like all the linens could, all the rentals could, nobody else came after me. I took it because I had a remote control in my hand. There was no fire remote. There was fire. It's easy to take blame for it. It ended up totaling about $7,000 in damages that State Farm took all of it.
Heck yes.
Which is great. But it also was like, I was like, that was another part of the darkness was I was like,
No.
but you know, I don't want to cough up $7,000, but I could, you know what I mean, type of thing. And so that was nice that they just took care of everything. Nobody else had anything to say, but it was just like it was like weird karma that like the Cold Sparks weren't even supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to do this. Like I didn't know about the pampas grass. Do you know that they spray pampas grass with hairspray?
I didn't know that.
To keep its form.
Yeah.
All right, fuck you, Pompous.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and so
we're
now,
over it. Everyone, don't have Pompous at your wedding.
100%.
Please.
Call me in 10 years, like it might be back, but right now it's gone. Don't do it. And like if Cold Sparks are at a wedding where there's pampas grass, I'm like, I'm not setting them up.
Like, not with
I
a
will
10-foot
give you a
pole.
refund. It's not worth it. You know what I mean?
No.
So. Yeah.
I had one more question for him really quick.
Yeah.
What songs should absolutely not be played in 2026?
Oh, okay. Well, we kind of cover line dances. I mean, here's the thing. Like at the end of the day, this is all your big day. If you want to play anything, I say you do it. You know what I mean? I've had the chicken dance pop off. I've had, Mo Bamba. I've had everything in between, like
Baby Shark,
all of it. I've had it all work.
Crazy work.
If people are into it, like, they're into it.
Yeah.
So really anything that would make you blood curdling mad to hear the sound of this person's voice, if it reminded you of an ex-partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever that is. No, I mean, I'm like all fair game. I mean, but also like, just like trust your DJ.
Trust your vendors.
Trust your vendors. Because it's super important to be like, there's so many songs on the radio right now that are like fun to listen to. It's fun driving music, but like I need like a remix of it. I need a mash. I need something to make this more danceable because it's just like, does not have the backbeat of, late 2000s recession pop. Sure. It's not quite back. Close, but it's not quite back.
Yep. If any of our listeners want to find you, where is the best place?
TREGO the DJ on Instagram, TREGO.the.DJ on Instagram, or TikTok rather, TREGOthedj.com for website. And
you guys follow him on TikTok. We need to get him to 1,000 followers. Follow our man on TikTok so he can go live.
We might need to do like some sort of giveaway if I get to 1,000
you guys
on
hear that?
TikTok. Seriously.
Okay.
I mean, there's lots of stuff in the works that I'm not ready to talk about yet, but just stay in contact because there's going to be ways that we are serving people and I don't necessarily have to be their DJ.
Okay. Perfect.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Wedding Hive podcast. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Yeah.